Yo, this is SoulDrum86 bringing you another video. So I hate to say it, but I think 2K is officially cooked for those who want the game to be a better game. Um, for the most part, well, I can't say for the most part. I'll say this. I've been pleasantly surprised about the amount of people that have been upset with what they've seen and what they've heard, especially about like the ringside pass. But at the same time, you still have people like I thought you would, but there's still a lot of people that are making excuses for it, that are arguing against their best interest, as fans seem to always do. It's the same argument that is made, like, for example, in the NBA. You'll have fans who literally are okay with players sitting and resting. And it's like, but don't you want to see your favorite players play? Whether you're going there live or on TV. When I was coming up, my brother and I would go to basketball games. We never had to worry about if Allen Iverson was sitting out because of rest. If Allen Iverson was out, best believe it was because he was injured. And when you look at the TV aspect, I always got to see the best players go up against each other. In fact, players, if they were injured, if they were on their way back, they would almost like try to force themselves. And most times they would actually be able to do it. They would come back early just because they knew there was another top star that was going to be across them and they wanted to play against them. And so it was must see TV. But you have fans now that are like, oh, it's okay if they're sitting. They make a lot of money and blah, 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 blah. It's okay. And these are fans who say this. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is I saw some comments today, just looking through comments on 2K videos. And there was somebody that replied to somebody about, because somebody was upset about the ringside pass. And rightfully so. And then the person replied, it's 2026. This is how it is now. You guys are all just lazy because you don't want to grind. Okay, that's insane to me, because if you were to ask these same people 5 years ago, you know, hell, if you were to ask them last year, would they like a battle pass to 2K, they would most likely say no. Um, because we were already paying 2K for extra wrestlers. And you also have to take into account that we don't know how the system is going to be yet. Even though you can play any game mode to earn XP to eventually unlock something that you paid for, we don't know how long that is going to take. Even though they tell you you can play any game mode, what if, depending on what game mode gives you more XP than other game modes? What if you have to put more hours into a certain session than you normally would to make it worth your while? I mean, we already saw how stingy they were when it came to earning XP in the island last year. So what makes people think that 2K is going to be generous with this XP that we pay for? Because remember, it's all about player engagement. They want you playing this game now, even though people have always played this game throughout the entire year. In fact, a lot of these 2K YouTubers, their subscribers play the game more than they do. You could tell by the content that they upload. You can tell by them also admitting, and I could name them, that have admitted that they stopped playing the game fairly early. There's been times where they've said, yeah, it's kind of tough to make this game last and all this other stuff. But meanwhile, you go to Reddit, there's people playing universe mode literally until the next game comes out. But that brings me to this point is, before, you know, everybody, including myself, when I would even dabble in universe mode, I always waited for certain legends. A lot of people have waited for certain current stars to be implemented into the game. So all they have to do is just plug them right into their universe mode. But now it's going to be a situation to where, however they announce it, whenever that time comes, it's like, oh, such and such is coming to the game. This person's coming to the game. This person that just debuted not too long ago, they're going to be in the game. People that are currently watching a product and trying to either mirror what's happening in real life or at least mirror the roster, they're going to say, oh man, okay, I can't wait until this happens, so then I can get this person and just plug them right into my universe mode. But now you have to grind. So instead of it being, okay, this character is available now and I could just straight up get this character. Now I have to grind to get this character, and I don't know how long. Even though I've already been waiting this long, a specific amount of time to get this certain wrestler in my universe mode, I now have to wait even longer because now I have to play the game however long and do however whatever I have to do to earn XP. I seriously doubt that you earn XP by putting shows together. You most likely earn XP doing matches in these different game modes. Right. So like if you're just doing play now, you're going to earn XP. Finishing matches and stuff, that's how you're going to earn XP in universe mode. I seriously doubt it's going to be a matter of, oh, because I tweaked this and tweaked this, I got VC. I don't think it works like that. And I don't think it's going to work like that. So then you're having a player have to do more than what they normally would, even though they were already playing the game. So for anybody that says, oh, you're just lazy, you don't want to grind. What do you mean? Because people play the game all year round, right? Especially the people who are fans of the game, they constantly play 2K. So what do you mean lazy? What is the difference between me, right? Just take me as an example. I used to play nothing but exhibition matches, and I would upload them to YouTube and I would do highlights, right? So I would actually do the full match, but then just cut it out and pick the best parts. So it looks like you're watching like kind of like a highlight clip of different, parts of the match. And I would do that a lot. And I did it all year during 2K22. I think I started doing it during 2K23, 2K24, etc. Like that's what I would do. So what's the difference between me putting the time and effort into doing that and then grinding for something that I've already paid for? The reason why I started this video out by saying that it's done is because when you have people who are going to be forgiving to these companies and just kind of allow anything to happen, it's only going to get worse because people aren't willing to fight back. And this is why when I made that first video, when I asked the question, what is everybody's threshold? Like, what's the okay, I can't take this anymore? It doesn't seem like with a lot of gamers, that's the case. And I really don't, I'm trying to understand the psychology behind that. I really am. Because in our daily lives, we're grown now, but growing up when we were kids, we would always hear our parents. If we're parents now, we talk like this. Usually in your adult life, we have our threshold with certain things. It's a little bit, people cut out going to the movie theaters because it's more expensive. You can also make the argument that there's not a lot of good movies that come out anymore, but going to the movie theaters is so expensive now, a lot of people cut it out. Now I go because I have a movie club. So my wife and I go, we get to see a lot of movies without really spending any money. I have a monthly thing, like $12 a month for a movie club, and you get credit. So when you're not going to the movies, the credits build up. So then when we are going to the movies, like mostly like in the summer season and like in the fall and spring, then we start using those credits up. And, but a lot of people do cut certain things out when it gets expensive. A lot of people can say, you know what, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm done. I just saw a video not too long ago about how McDonald's was struggling. I don't know how much they're struggling. They're still a juggernaut, but they're expensive. And it was a video on YouTube. They're expensive. The wait times in the lines, like the drive-through line is longer. So people just kind of, all right, I'm done with this. But it just feels like with gaming, you don't get that. You have a small population, right, of a certain, franchise that will be like, I'm done. But then you'll have the vast majority just continue to be okay with everything that happens. There is never any, I don't know. I'm a little hesitant on this. There's never okay, nah, I'm out. I'm just out. And then you can argue that the content creators don't help because content creators are influential. And when you're likable and you have influence, that only adds more to it. So when you watch videos of somebody you love and respect, or I should say like and respect, and they make the game sound cool and they seem like they have no issues with it, or they just kind of brush over everything, man, especially the younger generation, they're going to watch those videos and be like, yeah, everything is great. I have no problem with this. You know, in a way, you can look at it like it's kind of like a sheep mentality, and everybody just kind of goes along with it. And I don't know, man. Like for me, I'm disappointed in what I've seen. I'm disappointed in what I've seen in content creators. And now, look, I understand this is a game. This isn't like, the most important thing in the world. I'm not trying to make it out to be that. But again, you can also kind of make the argument that's why this is such an issue, is because video games are always supposed to be something that we escape to. It's something that we want to do. We want to enjoy our time. I came from a time, and a lot of you have too. We grew up where games were complete when they came out. There's even excuses for that now. We come from a time where we didn't have to purchase anything. We literally just played the game to unlock things. We come from a time where games didn't used to give you something one year, take it out the next year, and then resell it to you. Like, no, I'm saying resell it to you. I'm not talking about when Madden takes away hit stick and then introduces it a few years later and calls it something different. I'm not talking that. I'm talking we never had to deal with, oh, wait, Ryu or no, better yet, yeah, I'll just go with that. Ryu is always in a Street Fighter game. But take him out and then we're going to make you buy him later. Well, how come I don't get Ryu now? Like that doesn't make any sense. We never had to deal with that. But now you do. And, people, I don't think a lot of fans are realizing the scam that is 2K26 right now. I mean, because it really is a scam. You're buying the Attitude Era edition for what? For Persona cards in my faction, for China 97 or 98, whatever year, for The Rock 99, for Kane 98, and for the Raw is War Arena 1998. Well, a lot of those things were in WWE 2K16. People keep thinking that, oh, they're making it current gen only, so it's going to be so much better. Is it really? Making a game for 2 generations, they've been doing that the past 2 generations. Even though they did quit sooner with the PS4 in comparison to making still games for the PS3, it's clearly showing that like there's not that much of a difference between these consoles. I mean, if you look at the graphics in 2K15 or 15 and 16 and 17 and 18 for last gen, it doesn't look that much different to what 2K looks like now. Yes, it's more polished. The graphics definitely have gotten better, but I've been playing 2K16. You guys saw my video where I recently put up video showing 2K16. And it doesn't look that much different than what the game looks like now. So I know that there's a lot of people wanting the graphics to be better. And it's like, well, the graphics are great. You want the graphics to be better? Like, I just want the game to be better. The graphics are fantastic. If there's anything positive that I can say about 2K is the graphics are fantastic. They want people to play the game more, player engagement. I mean, hell, just make your game fun and people will be there. Make your game fun and people will be there. You don't have to do these money grabbing gimmicks to get people to enjoy your game if you make a game that's good enough to enjoy on its own. You make a wrestling game that's good enough to enjoy on its own. You don't need to do a ringside pass and all of this nonsense. And if you are going to do a ringside pass, at least have the respect to not release a game yearly. Paying $150. Look, I asked in my in my last video, I asked, what is the threshold? What is the line to cross for fans? I mean, look, the game is $150. It's more in Canada, right? The game is $150. And the reason why I keep saying that, I know that there's other versions. There's 120. The one that's 129. It's not worth that. It's not worth 100. At this point, I don't even really feel like 2K is worth the $75 for the standard edition. But the reason why I keep mentioning the $150 edition is because that gets you everything. So literally, it's the best deal when you think about it. But it sucks to have to pay that much because they're locking that much behind certain editions. Now, granted, as you go up with the editions, you do get what the previous editions have in them. But still, if you want everything, getting the top tier $150 is your best bet because you won't get everything if you get the Attitude Era version. You won't get everything if you get the King of Kings. You won't get everything if you get the standard edition. But they're charging 150 US dollars for a video game that is going to come out next year at the same time. And not to mention, people are going to be putting more money into the game after the $150 is spent. Because what if there's a way to bypass the grind to get your DLC content that you pay for? What if they have a system where, okay, you can just kind of pay us this much to get everything that we're releasing in this ringside pass? What if they do stuff like that? I wouldn't put it past them. I think they did something like that with NBA 2K. When they started implementing these season passes with NBA 2K. So at this point, the reason why I keep asking what's the breaking point is because at this point, I don't feel like there is a breaking point. Because for everybody who is making an excuse for this, for everybody who is making fun or talking bad about other people, maybe they're saying the typical lines that you always hear, oh, you can't afford it. Well, a lot of people can't afford a lot of things in this economy. Try again. Oh, you're just lazy. Lazy? I play the game all the time. I just don't want to have to grind. I just want to relax and play like I've always been able to. Maybe I don't play my faction. Maybe I don't play the island. Maybe I don't even play my rise. I just play my GM. Maybe I don't play any of those and I just play universe mode. Maybe I just play through the showcase and then I go and I just create matches and play now. What if that's all I do? I mean, hell, that's what I started to do. I would play my rise. I would play showcase one time, and then I would go in and I would just be doing my regular matches, either recreating matches from that happened before or doing matches that never happened ever. And I actually got a lot of playing time in when 2K24 came out. I had over 200 playing hours with 2K24. Over 200. I think by the time I think I probably had like 294, and that was until 2K25 came out. I had about 294. That was the most that I've ever played a 2K game, I think. And it was all based off of community creations. What's the breaking point? I asked it a lot in my previous video, but what is the breaking point? Seriously. Because again, at this point, it doesn't feel like there is one. Right now, it feels like fans are honestly willing to pay $300 for this game. We're halfway there, guys. Do the math. We're halfway there. We are halfway there. So for everybody making excuses for this, and you know who you are because you're going to come across this video. You're probably going to leave a nasty comment. But you are the person that will spend $300 for this game. We are almost there. We're almost there. People have to understand that it's not about it's about things possibly getting worse, and people don't think of it like that. I've watched some content creators that I really, really like, and I've watched them kind of have an issue with it or have an issue with it, but then at the same time, it's like they're still rolling with it because it's their game, or I'm still ready to have fun with this game. How can you continue to have fun with a product that continues to nickel and dime? We are just built different. We are just built different. I'm not built that way. I'm not built that way. The game that you're looking at right now in the background that's just on the screen right now, Gran Turismo 7. Gran Turismo 7 only charged us one time, and that was late last year in December for the power pack. But before that, for the last 4 years, they've been doing free updates. You can make the argument that the cars haven't always been great, and that's true. But nonetheless, we didn't have to pay for these cars. But with the power pack, we paid $30 for 500 million credits. That's what we got. We got 50 new races. We have the ability in those 50 new races to give us the full racing experience in terms of qualifying and practice. And we got about 4 or 5 new cars, if I'm correct. Because I know one of them I didn't buy because I didn't want. But we had about four or five cars in that power pack. That's what we charged for. And we got charged $30 after not being charged a dime since 2022. But see, WWE 2K is a game that comes out yearly. So you're spending 150 now, and then you're gonna probably spend a lot of money in any of the other modes that are gonna, cost that much, or that are gonna cost you anything, like my faction. That's if you're somebody who plays that. But like I said, what if there's a way to bypass grinding? Even though they didn't explain it, it probably won't be. But what if there's a way to bypass the grind in these ringside passes, and it just allows you, hey, you want this character or this skin or whatever this, then pay this much money, and then you get everything. So you double it. You know what I mean? You pay for the ringside pass, and then you're paying again to get everything right away. Because I don't know if it's going to be a situation where you can just normally play the game and then get everything in a timely manner, because we already wait now for DLC and further apart from each other. I don't know why they started doing that. Maybe it was for player engagement because people started dropping off. But that's their fault for making a game that doesn't last long. It's 2K's fault why these content creators don't play all year round anymore. It's 2K's fault why they hype up the game and then eventually they can't tell any lies, or when the hype dies down, they have to tell the truth, and they have to tell all of their people who've already paid for the game, hey, the game isn't as good as we thought it was going to be. Hey, this thing that they added is not as good as we thought it was going to be. 2K does some good things, don't get me wrong, but for every good thing that they do so many bad things. It's cool to upgrade gameplay. It's cool to add in match types. All of that is great. But where's everything else that we've asked for? And why does it take so long? But instead of focusing on that, the focus this year was this ringside pass stuff. The focus this year was, well, we added kind of another, because let's not get it twisted. There was about 4 different versions of this game to get before. They kind of snuck it in last year. In a way, there was about 4. It came later, but there was about 4 different versions to get at this game when it was all said and done. And so they're just implementing that now. What is it? What's next? After a few years, is it going to be 5 different versions of the game to get? I mean, having 4 different versions of a game is a bit ridiculous when you think about it. Like, come on. It was one thing when we were at least just getting 2 different versions of the game, when that was kind of the standard. And now we're up to 4 different versions of a video game? The haves and the have-nots. The haves and the have-nots, people who can't afford it or who's willing to pay for it, are going to have all the fun in the world. But if people in their budget only can get this edition or this edition or that edition, they're going to be stuck with having to wait until it's available to buy. So then eventually they're just going to be spending the money that it costs to get the other edition that they should have got. Video games should not be a luxury. Video games, no, like, this is ridiculous, man. Consoles are more expensive when they need to actually be going down in price. People keep blaming people for not, upgrading. And again, let me talk about the whole upgrading to a PS5 fiasco. When everybody says, oh, it's going to be on current gen now. I heard somebody today make a video and say that now that they have multiple commentators, maybe this was something that was holding them back. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Want to know why? Because before these new consoles ever came out, NBA 2K had several different commentator teams way before the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X came out. So why couldn't WWE 2K do it? Oh, you mean to tell me in SmackDown versus Raw, if you picked the SmackDown arena, you had Jim Ross and Taz being the commentators, but then if you picked Raw, you had JR and Michael Cole? So they were able to do it on those consoles, but 2K couldn't do it? And the reason why is because the game was still being made on a PS4? Come on. Come on. Really? That's what we're going with? I can tell you this right now. You either do one of two things, because I can tell you right now, them, even though they have made that excuse before, oh, we're held back because we're still making the game on last gen. Well, how about you do what NBA 2K did and make two different type of games at the same time? You give the last gen the lesser version so you can continue to build on the current one instead of trying to make them both the same. Make two different versions of the game. 2K did it, and it worked out just fine for them. It worked out just fine for them. When the PlayStation 4 came out, anybody who owned the PlayStation 4 version of NBA 2K14 had the superior version than what was on PS3. And even still to this day, the NBA 2Ks are different than what is put on the last gen. So you could either choose to do that, make two different versions of the game, or you could just immediately go to just making the game just current gen only years ago. You could have did that a couple years ago. Because I could tell you guys right now, if you don't see steps to them improving the game already, like the last 10 years, it being on current gen only is not going to change anything. I mean, look at what they did when PlayStation 3 was still a thing and PS4 came out. Once WWE 2K15 came out, the last generation had the better version because they were still working with the THQ programming. Same thing with 2K16. It was still made like how the SmackDown versus Raw games were made, but people with the PS4 and Xbox One had the lesser versions, but just better graphics. And so you mean to tell me that from the PS4 to the PS5, they couldn't do something similar? Having the PS4 and Xbox One people have a lesser version of the game, and then having the next gen version be like its own thing? That was an option. But yeah, you got these content creators talking like, yo, you should have upgraded. Oh, it's been 5 years. You should have upgraded. You should have upgraded by now. Should have upgraded. That's what I've just heard nothing but that. Even from the people who sound like me. Even from the people who sound like me, telling their audience, telling people that are going to come to their videos, you should have upgraded. Well, I mean, like I said in those, and I have voiced my opinion on those videos. I've said in videos of my own, I've said it in comment sections, they haven't given people really a good reason to upgrade consoles. I have said many times, if somebody were to ask me, hey, should I get a PS5 or an Xbox Series X? I would say, nah, I think you're good. I'll be like, what do you like to play? It all depends on what you like to play. So I'm like, there's really no reason to. They're not giving people a real reason to upgrade. And they haven't this generation. That's why it's laughable, the fact that they even started mentioning about a PS6 and then a new Xbox console. I'm like, these systems haven't even got off the ground yet. Games taking longer to develop. Games being full of hype only to come out and be a letdown. Companies not being innovative anymore. Companies being scared to take chances, so they do what another company does. They haven't given people a reason to upgrade. Oh, what? Graphics and faster load times? Okay. And ever since I got my PS5, man, I really haven't been happy with this thing. I mean, like, yeah, it's cool to have, kinda. But I mean, I literally went through a stage the last couple years where I hook up my old systems to play old games. That's how much these new consoles are lacking. So, yeah, you could tell people, oh, you should have upgraded. But I mean, when you got 2K making the same, making the game for them year in and year out, you got NBA 2K making NBA 2K for the last gen, year in, year out, Call of Duty, year in, year out, making the game for all of these, the last two, this generation and the last generation. Why do they have to upgrade when the games are coming out? And it's not like games look bad on the PlayStation 4 or Xbox Series X or the Xbox One. It's not like the games look bad on those. The graphics still look good on those games. So seriously, what reason do people have to upgrade? I know this is a long video, man, but I had a lot on my mind, man. I know I'm probably like all over the place, but there was a lot of things to cover, a lot of things that have disappointed me. And again, I want to reiterate, it's not like this stuff is like serious stuff. You know what I mean? Like, these are video games. We're supposed to have fun, but that's why I make these videos, is because these things are supposed to be fun, but now it's becoming haves and the have-nots. It's becoming, you pay this much to get this experience. That person that pays this much is going to get this experience. It's now becoming, if you want the full game, then you have to do this. You have to pony up. You have to grind. You have to, like, whoa, like, what are we doing here? We're removing things and then selling them back to the gamer as if they're doing something great for them. Why do we have to buy back wrestlers that have been in the game before? I've said it many times. The only people that should be worth anything is wrestlers who haven't been in the game at all. But Honky Tonk Man has been in 2K before. But we had to pay for him last year. Mr. Perfect has been in the game before. He was in the game for a couple years straight. We had to pay for him again. Lex Luger was in the game before for a few years straight. They took him out and we had to pay for him again. Psycho Sid, same thing. We're just buying back characters and we're acting like that's okay. They take out arenas. We grinded for those arenas to finish that horrible showcase. It got a little bit long in the tooth. And then they took out all of those WrestleMania arenas. But this is the game that we have helped build. Guys, we helped build this game because of FOMO, because of content creators who I don't know if it's because a lot of them want to make money off of YouTube, or they do make money off of YouTube and they don't want to bite the hand that feeds them. They just want to keep things going because it gets them clicks. I don't know. It probably is all of the above, but because of them, we will never get a better game. It's going to take for another company to come out and make a game. I can only hope, we can only hope that maybe AEW does it again. I know a lot of people aren't fans of AEW in real life, but at the same time, If they make a good enough wrestling game to where you can do the things that you could do in a 2K, but it's only better, or it at least rivals it, I think that's the only time that 2K will ever change. 2K's got to get their audience taken away from them a little bit for them to feel it, that what they're doing is not right. But there's a lot of people who think it's okay what they're doing, and that's a part of the problem. It's a big part of the problem. Like I said, there's nothing that these gamers won't do. I think that right now, for a lot of people who have already pre-ordered 2K, they would pay $300 for the game because it's getting there, guys. We're already halfway there. Do you think that that's going to stop? When businesses know that they can continue to make money in some way, shape, or form, they're going to continue to do that. So next year, you could probably look for certain things to be held back even more. I mean, they're even having it to where you unlock creation parts. Creation parts? So does that mean that they've already taken what we used to get normally and have already kind of locked certain things behind a grind? So when it comes to community creations, and they know that people are going to be like, well, I'm not going to buy this, I'll just go to community creations. Is 2K trying to make community creations hard enough to where even the best creators can't create certain things for people to download? Because it's like, oh, to really get this character or to really get this arena to look like you need it to look, you gotta buy this and purchase this or grind for this. I don't know, man. It's not looking good. Let me know what you guys feel in the comment section, man. Thank you for listening. I know this was a long video. If you made it to the end, I appreciate you. Let me know your thoughts. It's your boy Soul Drum 86, and I'm out. Peace.